Alrighty, YouTube. Another video about a van. Shocking. So plan on doing these windows. I need these windows installed ASAP. So what needs to happen first? I was planning on doing this last weekend and it didn't happen because Saturday poured rain, and then Sunday I had quit on life. I was a quitter, but today I'm not. So these need to get cut. These I'm gonna cut right about there on the top, and I did a little bit of prep before, and so taped over here to try to prevent any little metal shavings getting in and down. And then it's really sketchy cutting this because you're so close to the wall of the body, wall of the van, the skin. So I'm being a little bit extra cautious, and I put some cardboard back there just to cut this. I've already got a line there everywhere mapped out. I believe this line, I got this here, this should be sufficient. Give enough room for the window and then potential trim and all the rest. I'm not sure how that's going to work just yet. But yeah, I got this side kind of ready and taped as well. Have a beauty 3-inch cutoff saw. So I might try that. And what I like about this, it's got a, as you can see, it's got a guard. Can we see this on the video? Dark, worse. Spielberg over here. And you can set the depth of it. So I've got this blade set, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and it's a metal disc, and I'm going to cut through the steel. And then when you put this up here, it kind of gives that extra protection on, and I can run this. It gives me a flat surface, and I can run that right along, and I don't have to worry about going too deep. And that's what I'm going to try. All right, here goes nothing. So this part's going to be a little different. There's a bit of a flare here, so I'm just going to try to... So, nothing through the paint, nothing burnt. Everything on the outside looks good. Holy crap. That was scary. So, there's one. Got them cut off. 1, 2. Yep, cool with the cutoff saw. Once you get the... It's just a little unnerving at first because you're just always worried you're going to go through the skin of that van. But came off. It's nice to have that little fence here to really prevent yourself from going too deep if you're a little concerned. So what I've noticed with all these videos, no one's giving any measurements. They're just kind of like, here, put this here. And it's like, well, give us an idea, people. And... where is my tape measure? So this is what I've figured out. Now I'm going to move this, but just to give people a reference line. So with these Crlaurence windows and cutting in these vans, you do not, I repeat, do not go off of this. This is not a straight line at all. So what you're going to want to do to make sure that your window is even, I'm just going off, you got to base it off of the track and the rail here. I'm just, you could go off of the bottom here. I'm just kind of going off of this. It's one and the same at this point. So right now, I've got from this little lip here to the bottom of this window. Now this is the cut size. The window would be a little bit bigger. I've got 15 1/8 inches to there. And that's the same even here. The top is different. Right now I've got like 2 3/8 or something. 2 5/16. And this one is like 1 15/16. So that is, you're talking like a good solid 1/4, 3/8 of an inch off up there. So since this is the cut size, Now I'm looking at another 5/8 bigger than this cut, so I think my window's up a little too high up here. So I'm going to bring this down. Now I'm going to go into the van and tape this up and kind of do some pilot holes through in the middle here, and then if I don't like the way it looks, I can always adjust. Hopefully that helps, because I'm sure there's videos on YouTube, but it just didn't pop up. Oh, hi there, you ready? Someone's ready to hold things. So, I've already got it tarped up and taped and cut. All that was done the other day, all the prep, all the tape, painted. So, protect from shavings. I'll lay out the tools. Here is a list of tools. Actually, it's not a list, it's a display. You're gonna need a jigsaw, obviously. You're gonna need a drill. And I'm gonna pilot the holes with these beautiful brand new Cobalt HSS drill bits. Then I'm going to go into the corners with these 3/8 bits, go close to those, and I'm going to widen them with a step bit. So when I'm using the jigsaw, I don't have to jigsaw the whole way around the thing. I'll have holes that I can follow, and then I'll grind them down. You're going to need some safety goggles, some safety muffs, marker, tape measure. I have a band file. Most people don't, but I have one. So if you have a file, you'll use that. I've got a nice battery powered one, and it's going to make cleaning up the edges much nicer. And you're going to want some spray paint and a whole boatload of tape, gloves, maybe a mask. That's about it. I adjusted the template, and what I've got, these are just temporary lines where we're kind of hoping this window should be. This is the cutout line right there, and window's about 5/8 bigger than that. So from this lip to here, we're about 14 and 13/16 for your cut, bottom of your cut line. This part's tricky. Is like, I was just going from kind of the far edge of the body, the actual maximum of the body, and guessing. So I'm roughly 16.5 inches to your cut line from the back of the van. And then from the top, that put us, 2.25, 2.5-ish from the top, which will get you around 2-inch gap above. That's roughly where it'll go. Here's the inside. So I measured roughly, I was kind of guessing 16.5 inches is approximately where this is going to be. This is the lowest part, so I'm at least 3/4 of an inch lower because the trim ring has to clamp around that. So that gives you at least 1/8 of an inch play from this inner lip here. And then look at the difference on the van. Like, that's 1 inch and a bit. This is 3/4, heavy 3/4. So this thing is out of square, I guess, or sloping 1/4 inch. So I measure from the floor up, I put the tarp back, and I think I was like 46 and call it 3/8 or so to this bottom of the template. And then I measured from the floor up to 46 and 3/8 here. So technically it's even with the floor. So theoretically it should be pretty close to the outside edge on the rail. Here goes nothing. So here is safe. Also in the template I labeled inside and outside. So, all right. Let's see what happens here. Perfect. Actually, I don't want to jinx it. It's not good. It is not good. Is it good?
I think it's good.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think so.
There we go. Look at that for friggin' guessing. That is pretty damn close, man. Sixteenth of an inch lower, and I was off less than 1/4 inch over here. Not bad. Okay, don't jinx it, because we still gotta cut the rust, drill the holes, jigsaw it, paint it, install it. On it. So now we're 14 3/4. 14 3/4. So technically this is where I want to trace this window. We're gonna take our marker. I'm gonna just hold what we've got. I'm gonna yank this tape. I don't really need it. This one I'm gonna pull. And then I'm gonna get my blue painter's tape and go over every single bit of this van I can. I'm gonna go into each corner and drill a hole somewhere around the start, each corner, and then somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna step it close to it. So then I'm gonna bring my jigsaw, and I've kind of got some relief exits in a sense. If the cut starts getting wonky, I know that I can't get too far off the path. So this is what I've got. I've got 4 very large points there. Get the jigsaw blade, and I can start the cut, get up on the curve, go there. If I mess up, I can got another point here. Can start again, blah 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 blah. Jigsawing time. As you notice, I've got proper ear protection. Because Coolio over here wants the glasses and the proper ear muffs. All right, put your love gloves on. There we go. So Samantha's gonna hold on, potentially, to this floppy panel. Once it's all cut, she's gonna pull the panel inside, and we'll just dispose of it after that. So, gloves, proper protection. I'm gonna go to the back of the van. So I'm gonna start jigsawing. Alright, there you go.
Look, you put a hole in your van.
There's no coming back from this now. Well, it's coming back if I buy a window flare. You can always salvage it. Okay, so I'm gonna get the band file.
Is that noisy too?
Not really, a little bit. I'm gonna clean this up, then we're gonna test fit that window.
Do you need my...
This band file, the best. Still too, what am I hitting? It's still too tight.
Oh, I think this... Yeah, it's not wide enough.
Hello, it's Andrew from the future. So, you need to caulk and secure the panels to your frame prior to any windows, like days before. There was no adhesive, or the adhesive that was in there has ripped off, so this panel is just wobbling. So what ended up happening, so here's the install of the window. This rattles like crazy. It's better now because I've got some adhesive there. You can hear that. It was brutal. Like you couldn't drive the van. It was crazy. So this whole panel was just like, even right now, there's a ton of movement. On this side, I did this 2 days ago. So I've got this like a Sikaflex 221 or whatever adhesive all up under here. I did leave some gaps just in case there's moisture and condensation, you do want it to be able to kind of breathe. So don't fill and seal the whole thing, because you kind of could start fish tanking stuff up here. Day 2 of window install. So day 1 went pretty good, considering we didn't know what to do. So let's see, here's what it looks like. You can see, looks pretty good to me. Taped up. I've got a little bit better piece of cardboard now, and I did an extra bit of tape over here. So this time when I taped it, I went a little on the outside edge of the Sharpie line, as that last template was pretty tight. The template was tight, so now I know I got a little more wiggle room. So what I'd recommend, put on a mask. I'm not one of those mask types, but you're gonna want a mask. Band file time. I got enough play at this point. Perfect. New angle. Paint your naked edges. This is coat number 3. Oh man, what a beauty fit. Tape measure. So we're 2 3/8. Deadly. Deadly, just like that. Probably going to be cursing and swearing trying to get this Gorilla Tape off after, but I don't care. I'm by myself and I don't want this to fall. And that Gorilla Tape, she's a good tape. She's a mighty fine tape. Alright. Let's go in, folks. I got 2% battery, is probably gonna die in me. That hole is like buried up there. Everything else lined up perfectly. And this track is just wonky. For the love of. Okay, so I didn't film that, but what I did, I went out and when I was grabbing clamps, I loosened all these screws and then clamped this, and this screw was off, so all these other screws are still installed, so this should be fine. And that allows me to get this screw in on this hole. So that makes sounds too. So, turns out, the body makes sounds, this makes sounds. This trim ring clamped on bare metal, you're gonna get sounds. Not acceptable, as far as I'm concerned. So I think I plan on doing some caulking. You could put butyl if you want, but main thing is they're in. I wanted them in. Woohoo. All right, pretty much tidied up. Let's wrap this video up. Alrighty, super friends, that tidies up 2 CRL bunk windows installed in a all-wheel drive Sprinter van. So things you got to pay attention to. Listen to this ridiculousness. So that's just in there. So when you shut your sliding door, you ready? I hope that sound came through. This thing just shakes and rattles. These panels are so thin. Like, look at this. Wow, 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 wow. Friggin' brown chicken, brown cow, you know? So, all in all, everyone's doing this. I'm not sure no one's mentioning that. I believe there's ways to fix it. I have lots of ideas. For the driver's side, which we did today. There she be, pretty same location. We don't have to worry about a door on this side. So all in all, this is actually easy. Sorta. Okay, so scale of 1 to 10. 6, 7. The scariest part, probably. Oh no. Cocking all over by my crap all over by my logo. So here's the sketchiest part, probably. Cutting these ribs without piercing and burning the skin of your van. That is definitely a thing you need to be mindful of. Once you get the window mapped out in the location, I hope the measurements I gave are helpful, because it depends on where you mount them, but this seems pretty good to me. You know, you're just under, so your up is about pretty close to as high as you can go with a little play. So what we call that, 1/8 of an inch, well, heavy 8, 3/16. This one ended up, it was a little higher, but whatever. It's like, who's gonna look at that? It's so close. And then that distance there, so I was trying to find like relative lines and measure over. I think from, you know, use that, it was about 3.5 over. Right here, 3.5 over. Everything is as it should be. All good project. Progress on the van. Remember, use these lines up. Don't use that down. That is not level. So thanks for watching, and have yourselves a great little evening.